Hello everybody, and welcome to Tactical Imperative. We have reached the Age of Atom, and now we are going to continue researching some cutting-edge technologies to obtain opportunity to produce some powerful and exciting products. But first of all, I would like to discuss with you one matter. The matter I would like to describe is the approach of that game to territories and vassals. So let's take a look on Busan. This was our vassal. It was found probably in the same time like Olatayamba. And Olatayamba gives us nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a rat trap, it's not a city. But the city Busan produces us a lot of production, gold, knowledge, culture, government, exploration points, engineering points. And this is a really important point. I would rather to have several, maybe 8 or 9 cities and regions than having a lot of vassals, because vassals, in fact, they give us nothing. This is one point, but one of the most important points of that game. Your power lies on your regions. Regions is a powerful thing, but you need to pay for this a lot of culture. More than 100 for 8 regions. It's a really huge amount. So that's why your empire needs to contain several developed and powerful regions. You can't put every your vassal to a region, you will lose all your culture. So this is the first point. The point means what we need to improve our regions. This is our main task. The second point is what? For example, in civilization sometimes it's really good approach to conquer your ally, to conquer your neighbor, your ally, and so on. It's a good approach, we will obtain a lot, but here, you won't obtain anything from it. Okay, we could have attacked all the cities of the South Korea and conquer them, but instead of that, we decided to trade with them. And now, for example, in our cities, we can buy free products from our civilizations, and this product gives us a distinct advantage. We can produce a lot of books, obtain a lot of knowledge, luxury, government points, and of course arts experience. So that's why the second point I wanted to discuss, but in this game it is really important to communicate, to trade with our civilization. Of course we are going to destroy several, maybe foreposts, maybe regions of that civilization, but we are not going to destroy it completely. This is not our goal. It gives us absolutely nothing. We need to communicate with them, we need to trade with them. This gives us a lot of advantages. And additional to that, I want to describe you this tiny city, Sejong. This is a super tiny city of revolutionary Babylonia, which we realized and made it free in the previous series. And now this is tiny and undeveloped city gives us, let's take a look, almost 37 culture from one city. In general, it was for free. We didn't need to pay for this. Just an agreement. 37 culture. Let's take a look how much culture gives our magnificent capital with 56 population. So our capital gives us 38. A little bit more than one city, which is ally for us now, and we have an agreement for culture. That's why I'm talking about the approach of that game. It's really important. You don't have to conquer all the territories. You need to conquer some of them and make your rivals not so strong, and after that we need to communicate and trade with them. It will give us a lot of advantages. So this was point about a game approach to veterans, regions and trade agreements. Let's continue our campaign for the magnificent Babylonian Empire. Let's take a look on the opportunities the Age of Atom gives to us. Let's take a look on the research. And one of the most important things is Age what can specialize our cities to a nuclear town, and after that all the improvements from mechanization will give us double income. So for example, mechanized press produces 2 enriched cooking oil from 2 flax and oils. Looks like a common bit, but if you build it near a nuclear town, it will give us double amount of cooking oil, and we will spend only 2 flax or olive for that. That's a crucial advantage. For example, with cars, it works the same way. to steel or ferrouranium for one car, but if it's built near a nuclear town, the production of cars double. That's why we need to use this crucial advantage. In addition to that, I want to mention improvement Hazardous Material Laboratory. It can convert uranium or books to analytics directly to uranium or books to analytics. 8. Knowledge from 1 improvement. It's a really strong improvement. Also, I want to mention powerful unit, ferrouranium tank. It's really powerful and I think we are going to use it against some naughty boys in that campaign. But why is the age called the Age of Atom? Let's take a look. We have special improvements in this age. Mechanization. We can build fusion reactor and obtain a lot of energy. To store that energy, it's a really crucial advantage from only 1 uranium. It's really strong, but it leads to, it is said, free network heat. It means what network heat generated by fusion reactors can produce a national disaster, meltdown, and it's not good. It can cause some issues to our world, so that's why, to avoid it, you need to build not only fusion reactors, which give us network heat, but you also have to build water cooling tower, which gives us network cooling, and additional to that, this improvement produces a lot of gold, 15 wealth actually. That's why energy in that age is not a problem. We just need to find proper amount of uranium, and after that we can obtain a lot of energy to supply our modern buildings. In addition to that, I should mention nuclear waste. Let's take a look. Every hazardous material laboratory will produce 1 radioactive waste, but in this age we don't obtain that amount. It is said Age of Atom reduction -1 radioactive waste, but in the next age we can have a serious issue. Not all the improvements of that age produce this radioactive waste. For example, as I remember, Hazardous improvements, they don't produce it. So it's not a problem, but be really careful with Hazardous Material Laboratory, with ferrouranium furnace, which will give us more production but it accumulates radioactive waste. In addition to that, we have a way to treat that waste. We need to build water cooling reactors, which will convert radioactive waste to energy. But of course in this age we can't obtain energy because we don't have radioactive waste in the Age of Atom. Nice. But the next age it can help you. Radioactive pollution, because it produces not only minor sanitation, it accumulates chaos in a world. And if you produce a lot of radioactive waste, chaos events will appear every turn and it's not good, we don't like it. So, what was a short description of the age features? Let's take a look what we can do in this age and let's see which technology we are going to research first. You know, I came to the conclusion that the best choice for the starting technology is going to be scientific breakthrough, because it gives us opportunity to build hazardous material laboratory. Of course, it needs power drain, but we can build nuclear fusion reactors from the beginning, and some of our cities, they have uranium, so it's not going to be a problem. Let's try to start from that technology, and of course, let's continue preparing for our bouncing to our dear Seafarer friend from the South Korea. Alright, it seems to me everything is ready. Let's talk with our dear South Korean friend. Declare war. Alright. Now, what are we going to do? Nice. What else? Done. Who is next? I will. We aren't going to destroy the city, we are going to destroy outposts. What else? Alright. Do we want to destroy something else? Yes, these two towns, of course. And this one. Alright. It looks like our question has been solved. Now I think we are going to destroy Gunsan Yolu, and after that we can make a peace. We don't have any questions to them anymore. We have researched the important technology communications. It gives us publishing house. which is twice more effective than a previous building. So publish house is double times more effective, and additional to that it has one extra working stall. That's why we are going to dramatically reduce amount of printing presses we need to have in our cities to produce the same amount of books, and it will give us more tiles. Two improvements we really need. For example, in our capital we need energy, education and sanitation. Alright, let's try to improve our magnificent capital. Let's take a look on the influence of hazardous laboratories. We had something like 130, now we have 170. It is a crucial advantage, 25% more, due to the fact that we built 3 laboratory, 2 in Laura and 1 in Isin. And now, for example, in our capital, we have 6 analytics. 4 from hazardous laboratories and 2 from coffee house. That's a crucial improvement, and I strongly recommend you to use it in your campaigns to pair from amount of science you can obtain only from one city. Alright, it seems to me we have tackled all the questions to our dear Seafarer South Korean friend. So now we are going to make peace. Let's offer them peace. My message has been sent. Alright. And I think we are going to send all our troops, except maybe 1 or 2 armies, to the vicinity of the city Uruk. We are going just to hold here all our army near Uruk, Avanga and Yui, Yuo. Just in case, because we all our 3 rivals, Japan, India and China, were located near that city. So that's why we would like to hold all our power here. I want to show several tricks with trading system. For example, in Laura, we spent all our uranium to producing analytics. So that's why we didn't have enough energy. But now we have 200%. How could it be? We just built a uranium mine in Changwon. Here it is. We obtained 2 uranium and we sent as a domestic trade route to Laura. That's why now in Laura we built 1 nuclear reactor. Where is it? Fusion reactor. And we obtained a huge amount of power, plus 20. From that reactor, it is. Let's take a look. Store energy. It is. So now we have 200%. Additional to that, we didn't have enough food in the city. Of course. That's why we built an improvement. Hazardous press, which gives us 4 cooking oil. Enriched cooking oil. 4 because it is close to a nuclear town. That's why it produced not only 2, but 4 cooking oil. But we didn't have olives in Laura. And we decided to solve this issue really fast. In Ur, we built a migrant plantation. We obtained 2 olives, and using domestic railroads, we sent it to Laura. As a result, we have in our magnificent capital a lot of food, plus 40 food. All our needs is 66. Nice. In addition to that, we obtained a lot of stored energy. That's why I'm strongly recommending you to use these domestic roads to enhance your best cities. It's really important, because if you don't have enough energy, you will have penalty to production. For example, in our capital we have more than enough energy, but for example, Larsa we don't have enough energy, and let's take a look. If you above 75% production in that city, it could be a problem. So that's why I recommend you to send goods to your best cities to improve productivity of your magnificent and astonishing empire. Let's talk about our main issue. It's not production, it's not power, it's not food. Our main issue is specialist point, because to build all the improvements of a nuclear era, like uranium furnaces, what else, mechanized press and so on, we need specialist points. And we don't produce them a lot. Now we put a lot of literacy salons in our cities, and we produce at least 89. I think this is the only issue our tremendous and astonishing power has now. It seems to me now we have more than 200 knowledge per turn. And it happened due to the fact that we started producing a lot of analytics from uranium in our magnificent capital. So that's why I'm strongly recommending you to follow that suggestion. I think in the Age of Atom we have an absolutely unfair situation. For example, let's take a look. If we want to make one more region in our magnificent empire, we can do it. Because the cost is 370, but the limit of our age is 300. Nice, nice, what can I say? What else? We have a lot of disadvantages. We can't use our guild training, because now it costs 310. In engineering, we can't spawn a pioneer, because it costs 309. The limit where our age for our actual government republic is 300. Limit for all the improvement points and all the engineering and our points, and it's so unfair. We just have to wait for the second age to produce great masters, to use our guild training, because in the next age will be the maximum limit 400, and it's absolutely unfair. I would like they change this in a patch, because now we can do it. We can do anything, just. We don't have enough engineering points. We don't have enough. Oh, wait a second. We don't have enough art points. It's just so unfair. We even can't spawn a city. We can do it. We can spawn a vessel, but we can't spawn a city. So it seems to me it needs to be fixed in that game. And I don't think we have to wait so long to put one more region or to spawn one more pioneer. It should have been the limit, maximum limit. The ceiling of the points on this age 300, so the maximum price of everything has to be 300. It would be equal, but what can we do? We should wait, and as it has been said, nice, nice. Alright, it's high time I stop complaining. Let's take a look on our technology. It looks like enrichment is the last technology in that age. After that, probably we need to catch up with technologies from the Age of Renaissance. We still haven't had navigation, and I think it is it. After that, we should take a look which age we would like to provoke for what next. I should confess that I love this music of the Age of Atom. It provokes me thoughts about development, about modern technologies, about cutting-edge technologies, about expanding and improving your empire. So it seems to me the soundtrack of that age is brilliant. It's just a milestone. I could say that this is a jewel of the music in games. I think you admire the music of that age also. I think we have researched the last technology we could. And let's take a look at the new age. Quite frankly, we don't have any choice. We are not going to start Age of Generals. First of all, because we don't have enough power score, and second of all, it means that we will be in war with all the other nations. We don't like it. We want to trade with them. We want to improve our empire. So that's why we are going to provoke the normal age of rocketry. Let's start it. Now I would like to discuss with you disadvantages and advantages of the Age of Atom. First of all, let's talk about advantages, and the main advantage is that we can produce super products. Let's take a look on our magnificent Laura. First of all, it's enriched wine. It means that we need to grow only 2 wines, and we will obtain 4 enriched wines with 4 culture, luxury, production, government experience. Let's take a look on amount of our government experience. 144. It means that we will achieve a maximum in almost 2 turns. It's really strong. What else? The second product I would like to discover is enriched cooking oil. It's really powerful. We need only 2 flax and olives, and we will obtain 14 food for 1 product. It's a super advantage. It's super strong. That's why I strongly recommend you to produce these 2 products. What else? Of course, we forgot to mention analytics. In hazardous material laboratories from uranium, we can obtain a lot of knowledge. Nowadays we have 223 knowledge. It means that we almost doubled our knowledge during that age. It's a really strong advantage. The second advantage I would like to describe you, I think it's not here. Let's take a look on Kisurra. This is Nuclear Town. Nuclear Town produces us wealth and power if build nuclear improvements near it. It's a strong advantage. Sometimes we have enough power, almost enough, power, to supply our city. And additionally to that, I forgot to mention that in this age we can produce a lot of gold. First of all, let's take a look on nuclear tower. Plus 12 gold. Also, I just destroyed all the beavers in the Eastern. Why? In the Eastern region. Why did I do it? Because we can produce enriched cooking oil, which gives us 6 gold each. So it means that from one plantation we'll obtain 24 gold. And addition to that, food, production, government expense, luxury, and producing in vivo textile, we will obtain only 18 gold. We will not produce any food, we will not produce any production. So it's a really curious improvement and advantage. So I like this free production. And also, we forgot to mention cars, of course. In Changwon, we are producing Kia and Hyundai. Let's take a look. Cars. They give us a lot of wealth, influence, and production. But production we have obtained due to what we have had a lot of innovation. What way it was our innovation. What can I tell about ferrouranium? It seems to me it's not so strong. First of all, to produce that for ferrouranium furnaces, you need to spend specialist point. Specialist point. We are merely producing 98, and a lot of specialists are sitting in the literacy salons in our cities. 7 literacy salons in Ur. It's so much. We have to spend a lot of population to produce enough amount. And still, the age is almost finished, but I still didn't build a lot of improvements for specialist point, because obviously I didn't have enough specialist point all the time. This is the disadvantage of that age. We don't have enough specialist point to produce all the improvements we really need. So, I think it was my perception of the age of item. I forgot to mention the unit. The unit is quite strong, but nowadays we don't have anyone. But let's obtain some of them. For example, here, updated ferrouranium tank. It's a quite strong unit, but in our current campaign it wasn't a game changer. This was my perception. I think now we should start the Age of Rocketry. It seems to me I have forgotten to describe you one more thing. Look, in this age, too many of our improvements of the other age, they don't produce radioactive waste. For example, all ferrouranium furnaces will produce 1 radioactive waste. All hazardous material laboratories will produce them. So what's the next age? We will have a lot of problems. But it seems to me we can solve them using water cooling tower, which will convert radioactive waste into energy. It looks like the naughty Babylonian boy led the world to the Age of Rocketry. Babylonia, of course, the signature of civilization. The Age of Rocketry has been started. Continue. Sounds great. Now we have opportunity to pick up a final government and 1 more national spirit. Enter the age. Alright. I think it's enough for that series. We have accomplished the Age of Atom. So, we'll continue in the next series. See you soon in Tactical Imperative.